So for the third time in a row, I'm going to start by saying I want to make more strategies for this simulation. Except this time, we're just going to do it instead of getting distracted. So the first strategy that I want to do is betting the expected return, the current expected return of taking a painting. And so when auctioning, we're still going to choose a random card. But when bidding, we're going to try to bid the expected return value for the painting. If we sell it back to the bank, that is. Okay, so let's do that. What do we need? We need expected return, I guess, context, which will be some struct, and expected return strategy, I guess. Is that how I name these? No. Expected return, which will be a strategy. And we will copy this. I think we still need to track what cards are in our hand to do the auction properly. That's getting kind of annoying, so we might factor that out or refactor that so that all of them inherit from a, well, inherent, but all of them inherit from a some sort of class that just tracks what's in our hand, but we'll ignore that for now. So we'll need this for the update. We'll put that there. We also, for auction events, so we need to be tracking the reward for selling a painting back to the bank. So we'll need to put that in somewhere. We'll just do a to-do for now. We'll get back to this. Track reward for selling back to bank. The context, we think defaults to nil. Do we need our ID? We do. So we need to track our cards. So everyone needs to track their cards. We'll have to come back to this. And the other thing we need to track is... do we even need our ID? Maybe we don't. We just need to track what cards we have. Where do we use the ID here? During auctioning? Yeah, we'll track our ID. So everyone probably needs to track their ID and their cards. The other thing we want to track is the reward for the artists. Now, we don't know how many artists there are. So we'll probably need to send that during setup. I think during initialization, we need to know what cards are in play. Is it better to track art? No, I think we need to know what cards there are in the deck, because our strategy might change depending on the distribution of cards and the distribution of auction types in particular. So I think we want to be given the deck. So we'll go card. We need our ID and we need all the cards that are in play. And I guess the number of players. We might have to go like strategy setup, something like that. Strategy setup. What do we need? We need our ID. We need all the cards. I think deck is maybe better. It's just all the cards. Number of players or order of players? Because the thing I'm wondering is you might change your strategy depending on what the players like before or after you do. So if you observe what they do, that might change your strategy. But I don't think you need to know the order of the players. Because I think you can pick that up just through events. As events come in, you'll figure out who's after you. Maybe. I think so. So I think we just want the number of players. Something like that. Okay, and then this will be setup.id. And this will be setup strategy setup. And yeah, we don't care about the deck or the number of players in this strategy, so we can ignore that. The random player, we also don't care. So this can just be setup.id. Okay, but for us, we do care. So we want our context, and then we want setup, which is a strategy setup. And then our DNet will be pretty similar. So I think we just need to know the number of artists and their ID. That's fine though. So artists, I guess? No, reward. That's what we want to track. That should not be dynamic. It should be something like that. The only thing is that maybe IDs can be random. I don't think there's any reason to do that, but I don't know if there's any reason not to allow it. We might come back to that. Okay, so this should be ER context. We want to, yeah, delete the cards. We also want to delete the reward. Yeah, and do that. Okay. Alright, so it's DNet. Init we're working on. Right, the bidding. That's kind of the heart of this strategy. We'll have to come back to this in a moment. We also need to track what card is currently up for auction to know what to bid on it. So we'll need to go. We actually maybe need to track the entire deck. Because during an auction event, we just get the card ID, right? What do we actually get from an auction? Yeah, we just get the card ID. Oh, no, there's a function to get... Yeah, get a card from a card ID. Yeah. Man, this is ass. I just looked through the entire deck. Whatever. To do. Hash map. But there is a get card, so okay, we don't actually need to track... No, we need to go for auction. We need to track that card. Right, and then we need to get its expected value, which... Okay, so this shouldn't be too bad. So if we go card equals... no, we need... this is context. This is cast. This is a pointer, right? Yeah. And then card is get card us.for auction. And then with the card we want to... We just want to bid... us.reward card.artist, I think. I think that's right. Okay, so here, do we have to cast that? No, we don't. Cool. So we'll go us equals new ER context, context equals us. And then we want us.id equals setup.id, us.cards equals make dynamic card, us.reward, right. Now we need to track. I think just the number of artists is fine. The only problem could occur is if they have IDs that are not sequential, but we'll ignore that possibility. So we'll just go num artists equals 0, and then we'll go for C in setup.deck. Right. Right, if they're just sequential, we just need to know if num artists, if c.artist is greater than num artist, then we go num artist equals c.artist. That's fine. And then we want to go us.reward equals make uint num artists. That'll do. Okay, so the auction, we're going to do a random auction. Which I guess we'll just copy paste, I suppose. Also, the name will be expected return, I guess. Yeah, I don't think there's anything for us to do with the auction event. We just... Well, do I want it to be random or first card? I think I want it to be random for now, because I want to compare this strategy against random players. Does bidding the expected value beat just bidding random amounts? So I think I'll copy the... Oh, fuck. Okay. Jesus. Alright. We're gonna have to refactor this at some point, but not right now. So there's our auction. And now our auction event. The other thing we need to do is bump the reward. No, this is not true. We're not bidding a reward. Wait, yes we are. No, that's exactly what we're bidding reward. Because we don't need to just track the reward, we need to track what the anticipated reward is. And that changes as new cards are auctioned. So we need to track how many have been auctioned as well. But only for this round. So if we get a new round event, then we need to clear out the values in num auctioned, but not the values in reward. This is a little finicky. So I know what needs to be done, but is there a good way of doing it? Other than just sort of brute forcing the problem space? Okay, so we're gonna need to track a few more things.